12 people reached, it says.
Okay, it's live now.
We're not talking. Did you get rid of all this?
So, I can't unmute them. They muted themselves.
Oh, do you want me to unmute?
No, I'll take care of the muting.
So she must be able to hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, North Metro. I'm Reverend Michael Torphy.
I'm Reverend Valeria Torphy.
And this is Greg and Sheila Fossen. They're our producers.
Hi, everybody.
This is Stephan Anthony. Does our email, our affirmations and our prayers. And this is the lovely Susan Clark. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
We're going to get started with evocation. So if you join me, everybody just close your eyes. Get comfortable in your chair. Take a deep cleansing breath. And together we recognize that one power, that one presence, that one infinite eternal life force that is in, through, and as all creation, yet not bound by its creation. It is the isness and the allness of the universe. It is my life. It is the life of each person joining in today. And in fact, it is a life everywhere in this universe. There's no separation. There's only one infinite good. So knowing this truth, I speak my word, claiming this day, the day that God has made, and it's something to rejoice in. Each one of us are a blessing to this planet, as the planet is a blessing to us. I know for each person that's tuned in today, they receive exactly what they need to receive, with clarity, with inspiration, and upliftment. And so very grateful for this team of people that make this service so beautiful every week after week. I give thanks to them and to all those who are joining us. Knowing that this word is complete and fulfilling itself, I release, I let go, and I allow it to be. And together we say, and so it is. So Susan, you want to kick things off?
I will kick things off, Rev Michael, with a very beautiful chant by Erica Luckett. I'm going to be doing some things a cappella today because I think there's a lot of power in the simplicity of the voice and a little percussion. Thanks to my granddaughter, I borrowed this from her. So this is very simple. I hope you all sing along in the comfort of your homes or wherever you are. It's called Sacred. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so sacred, this love. I will share, 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 I will share this love. That's all there is to it. Here we go. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. 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 I will share, 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 I will share this love.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
So much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The decision of the voice is good.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
We're going to do some announcements and then we'll get back into another song.
Okay. Like us and check in on Facebook at cslnorthmetro.org and check out our website. Go to our contact us to add yourself so that you get our emails. There's a place called Prayer Requests and Affirmations where you can request prayer. You can see the affirmations and the prayer that Stephan Anthony wrote for this week. And there's lots of good stuff out there, like there's a new blog, so you can check that out. And we have our Science of Mind magazine discussion group, which we've changed to Mondays at 6:30. So that's a new time, and it might be an easier time for people to join us. And today's title is Everything Has a Life of Its Own. Our guest artist is Susan Clark, and we're just so grateful to have her with us today because you already know how beautiful her voice is. So we're really grateful for that. The reading is from How Can I Help by Ram Dass and Paul Gorman. And now we're ready for the affirmations from Stephan Anthony, who writes them every week.
Sure do. So you can feel free to follow along silently or read these along with me wherever you are. Every day I powerfully manifest my heart's desires and my soul's intentions. I love myself fully and unconditionally always. With gratitude for what I have, I expand my acceptance of abundant good. My words and actions are healing and joyful as they come from my heart. I choose thoughts and beliefs that express love into my life and the world. The grandness of my spirit lifts me up in every moment. And so it is.
There it is. Those are so beautiful.
Yeah, way to go, Stephan. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
I want to wish my...
Are you going to do the reading first? Or
No.
That?
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So Stephan's going to do the reading now.
Okay. And as Reverend Valerie said and showed, it's from How Can I Help by Ram Dass and Paul Gorman. Profound moments of spiritual and religious experience take us beyond identification with our isolated egos. The sense of separateness falls away as we come into deeper understanding of it all. While these experiences do not easily lend themselves to words, the message of all the teachings that support them have much in common. Don't get lost in what's apparent. Go beyond the evidence of the senses and the rational mind. Acknowledge that there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt in our philosophies. Whatever else we may seem to be, we're also reflections of, and then we get names for the nameless. Being, God, life, the formless, the way. Whatever it is, whatever it's called, there's only one of it. It's present in all creation. We ourselves are rooted in it. It is our essence. Who we are from this perspective begins with the one. Unity, not separateness, is our starting point. And while our ego doesn't disappear, its importance is certainly put in perspective as a result of having experienced our higher self. Whether these experiences through nature, art, love, service, spirit are frequent or rare, we see that when we are not caught up in self-conscious separateness, not defined by self-image, we still survive. Indeed, we thrive and function happily, freely, and efficiently. We feel exalted, despite all our ego's concerns and warnings of the dire consequences of not being somebody special. We are capable of simply resting in our being. We simply are.
Wow,
That's powerful.
that is powerful.
Thank you, Stephan.
Thank you.
So today's a very special day. It's my beautiful wife's birthday. And I wrote this, and I want to share with everybody what I wrote. Valerie, you are who you are. You do what you do. You think what you think. You love how you love. You are a glorious expression of God. You are created perfectly, a unique field of brilliant energy. What a joy it is to experience you, and on this day to celebrate you. For this is the day of the miracle when you came to be the all of you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. He writes me one of those every year, and they're always that good. So they kind of make me cry. So thank you.
So we'll take you off the spot and let Susan take over here.
All right.
Got another song for us, Susan?
Rev Valerie. A song by Ray Stevens called Everything is Beautiful.
Oh,
Everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. There is none so blind as those who will not see. We must not close our minds. We must let our hearts be free. Every hour passes by, the world gets a little bit older. It's time to realize that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. We shouldn't care about the length of his hair or the color of her skin. Don't worry about what shows from without. It's the love that lies within. We're gonna get it all together now. Everything's gonna work out fine. Just take a little time to look at the good side, my friend. Straighten it out in your mind. And everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. And everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night or a rain-filled Sunday morning day. And everyone is beautiful, everyone is beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a better day.
Yay.
I love that. That is so
Thank you.
great.
Good
Thank
choice.
you.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Thanks for
Hey,
having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. And we'll see you in a few. We got some talking to do.
Sounds good. I'll be listening.
Okay.
Yay, thank you.
So here we are again.
Here you are again.
What I know is God is. Yes?
Yes.
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 All the time. All
Some
is
of the
God.
time? All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
All is God and God is all.
That's right.
And what I like to call the is and God is cosmic creation. It's the cosmic creation that's created the universe and everything in it. You and me, where you are in your home, everything that's around you, there's just one.
Mm-hmm.
So if everything is God and God is, then we can take that is and use it in anything. Like mountain is, tree is, people is, your life is. It's all God, it's all good. Because God is the substance and the fabric of everything that exists. Everything has life. There isn't a single thing that doesn't have life. Because when you think about it, the simple grain of sand is all these molecules and atoms and light all just created to make this one grain of sand. And it's the same thing for the hugest star. And what I also know that life is in ideas. So when you capture an idea, it has its life all of its own. And that life is perfect, that life is complete, that life has everything within it that is needed for you to follow that idea. Some people catch an idea and they want to take control of it, try to make it happen. I used to be that way and it didn't work out all the time.
It doesn't work out.
Most of the time it didn't work out. Once in a while you get lucky and it works out. But know that when you capture an idea, that it comes fully orbed with everything that you need. There's nothing that you need to do except be present with it. Our CSL, our community, was an idea that came through Reverend Valeria, and we caught it. And when that I compare capturing an idea like childbirth. You capture it and you get impregnated with this idea. And the idea has this certain amount of time to gestate. We certainly had that experience because the idea came, and because we were going to follow it, it took the time for it to be birthed. And sometimes you kind of get impatient, but you give yourself to it and you know that everything you need will come to you when you need it, on time, in time. So we did that. We came to Denver because that was part of the idea that we were going to start a community here in well, this particular area you caught.
Yes. It helped that my kids live here. Well, lived, one of them moved, but still.
So we came here. We had to go through this whole process of finding a home. That was part of the gestation. There's pains sometimes. You get uncomfortable with the pregnancy, and you deal with everything you need to deal with during this time. And then it was birthed. Went through all this paperwork, did all this stuff, and it became so. And we actually had people come, and it was glorious. Well, then it became our child, and that child gets raised by a community.
That's right.
By all those that are here, and it keeps growing and expanding and becoming more of itself. Like we as human beings, after being birthed, we go through our childhood, we go through our teens, and we go through young adult, and we become its life. The other thing I know about life and everything is that when something's created, it's created to give back. Yes. This earth was created for us to live on it, it provided everything we need, stuff to build a home, food to eat, air to breathe, people around us to love. It was all part of this givingness of the earth. And it's up to us to give back. And certainly we haven't been very good at that job. We've experimented around with, again, trying to take control. Because we were given steward of this earth, we thought, well, maybe we knew best. So we used up all its materials and tear down trees and all the stuff that we've been doing, because we missed the part of creation of giving back. And I know that there are many, many millions of people that do give back. And hopefully that will be the turn on the highway that we need in order to see this brilliant place we call Earth and see it recover and come back to itself.
Well, and it will survive whether we do or not.
That's true.
It will, because it has a life of its own as well.
And the indigenous people understood this. They understood how to treat the earth, how to give it back and give thanks for what was given to them.
That's right.
They didn't just slaughter all the buffalo. They take the life of one and praise it and pray on it and thank it for giving back life. And I really believe that's where we need to go. We need to be that. And we can do that in our individual lives. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever's in your personal little universe, think about what it is that you're getting from your friends, your family, your loved ones, even those that challenge you. We get stuff from those that challenge us. Think about what that means to you and give back in a way that you can give, because it's very important. I remember talking about things that have life. I've always had that idea in my head, even going back to a child. I can remember this one time I had a paper route, and I would deliver. It was in San Francisco, and I deliver papers, throw it. You're riding your bike, you got it folded so you can throw it, and I would do that. And some days it would be raining, and I would throw it, and I would miss the porch. And I didn't feel sorry for the people not getting the newspaper. I felt sorry for that newspaper getting all wet and not being able to give what it was supposed to give. And that happened to me a lot as a child. And as I grew and understand the nature of being spiritual, it all made sense. I want to share another story about an individual who came into my life. Ministers go through ministerial training, and after they finished after they finish their studies, they go before a panel, and the panel passes them or don't pass them, but most of the time passes them, and they get assigned a mentor. So this one individual chose me, I was assigned as her mentor, and we spent the years. There's so many years that they got. Now it's 3. Back then it was only 2. That they do what's called a licentiate ministry. So as soon as they graduate, they're licensed ministers, but they're not ordained ministers. So they go through this process of now 3 years, where they work with their mentor. And the way I worked with my particular person was we checked in once a month by phone, and we talked about what's going on and all that stuff. And she was intent to really do this thing that she wanted to do at her particular spiritual center. She got her letter of call as an assistant minister, so she wasn't the senior minister there, but she was an assistant. And she had this ministry that she wanted to do. It's like a sub ministry that is done within the spiritual center. And she went through all this stuff, and I tried to tell her that, it has a life of its own. Just be patient. And I could feel that she was trying to force it, and she could feel that too, because she got frustrated and impatient, and sometimes thinking, "Oh, this isn't going to work. I don't know. I'm doing this. I can just do the job that I'm doing as an assistant minister." So time goes by, and she passes her ordained panel, and she becomes a minister, ordained minister. And I don't know, maybe 3-4 months, and we weren't phoning anymore because my time as her mentor was complete as far as Centers for Spiritual Living. So I don't know, maybe 3-4 months go by, and she calls me and she goes, "You won't believe this." I believe what? She says, "I finally got it." I said, "You got what?" She says, "That my ministry isn't mine. It's got a life of its own, and it works through me." And she started telling me all these things that just started happening when that moment that she let go and surrendered to its life. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, things just started changing because she allowed the life to guide her and direct her to the outcome that the original idea had. And it's an important thing to understand that when you get an idea or you get a vision of something, appreciate what you've got. Appreciate that you were given this idea in the first place, and that's something that's a blessing. Mm-hmm. And just like bringing a child into the world, it's a blessing, and you gotta take care of it. You gotta love it. You gotta coddle it. You gotta do all the things that you would do with a baby. You do with your divine idea. We are creating machines. We're always creating, even when we don't know we're creating. Because we are made in the likeness and the image of God, which means that as God is, we are. So God creates through its thought, through its action, and we do the same. And sometimes creating can come with pain, but pain is always a good thing. Just like if you break a finger or break a wrist or something, if you didn't have pain, you wouldn't know that it needed treatment. You wouldn't know that it was calling out for help. And the same thing takes place in our lives. We get an idea. There are times where it's painful, where it's hurtful, but that's just part of the process. It's part. Well, what I know is artists understand this, because artists, if you ask any artist, how did you do that? They'll say, "I don't know. It came through me." They just get lost in the action of painting or sculpting or writing music. I wrote a book, and there were times where it came through me so intensely that I would after dinner I'd start writing, and the next thing I know it was time to go to work, and the whole day went by. I didn't even see the sun come up or anything, because this idea was very much alive in me in that moment, and it was up to me to respect it by giving my time and doing what I was guided to do. When you know that God is creator, God is the cosmic creator of all life. And cosmic means, what does it mean? It means perfect. It means everything is full of its good. Everything is the I'm going to turn it over to you.
You're just going to quit now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing that I did was look up life of its own in the dictionary online. And the definition is exists and develops without depending on things. Mm-hmm. And so then I looked up everything has a life of its own, and I got some really interesting quotes. One of them is, from Erin Morgenstern, and she wrote The Night Circus, and I read that a really long time ago, but I don't remember it at all. And she said, and there are never really endings, happy or otherwise. Things keep going on, they overlap and blur. Your story is part of your sister's story, is part of many other stories, and there's no telling where any of them might lead. Which is kind of funny because I was talking to one of our members the other day, and we were talking about that life and how we have siblings, and when they tell stories about when they were kids, sometimes it seems like we didn't even live in the same house or have the same parent because our memories are so different.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, so we all have those memories, but they're all internalized, having to do with what's going on with us and our thoughts around them. And so we remember different things, we remember things differently, and it's just a really interesting phenomenon. So when I read that, it just really grabbed me because we had just been talking about that. And then Ernest Holmes says, no two people live in the same room. Each to ourselves, we have the reality of the world of our own creating, which is absolutely what this teaching is about. As we think, as we believe, we create. And so whatever we're thinking about, whatever we're wanting to do or not wanting to do, it depends on whether the thought of what we want to create or the thought of what we don't want to create is the stronger one in terms of whether we create the thing we don't want or we create the thing we want, right?
Right.
So, and then this one was interesting. Some things happen for a reason, others just come for the season. And that's by Anna Claude Antunes. But I think the first thing I did was look up that song, the one that came from Ecclesiastes, turn.
For every season, turn, there is a...
Yeah. Anyway, so that just reminded me that sometimes things come and we're enjoying them and we like them, and it looks like they're starting to end and we don't really want them to end, and so we hang on to it. And so what happens with that, in my experience, in my case, for the things that I've held on to, is it causes the ending to be painful, where letting it go and have its own life and understand that everything does have its own life, and it has its time for beginning and it has its time for ending, and allowing it to end without hanging on to it makes it a lot less painful. And then that leaves me open to the new thing that can be created instead of hanging on to that old thing that wants to let go. But I think it's a good thing and I don't want to let it go yet. So
I know why we didn't use that song.
Yeah, because it talked about killing and
war. A time for peace, a time for war.
Yeah, there was something about a time to live and a time to kill or something like that. And it's
time
like,
to die.
Well, that part was all right. So anyway.
We don't die.
Well, our bodies do.
Yeah, that's not us.
So then Pema Chodron said, birth is painful and delightful. Death is painful and delightful. Everything that ends is also the beginning of something else. Pain is not a punishment, and pleasure is not a reward. So we're here having these experiences as humans, and we get attached to what we're thinking, what we want, what we have. And so it's in the attachment to something not changing, or to keeping the thing we have, or to doing the thing that we want to do that isn't really working out, that's where the pain comes in. Because if we were able to just allow everything to come and go and be, and when we get an idea, we take it as far as it goes, and then we let it have its own life, do its own thing, and when it ends and something else comes, it's like we know that with the flowers out in our garden. Although, okay, I'm still sad. I'm out there covering them all the time because I just want to keep them as long as I can. I know they're going to go, but I just like to keep them as long as they can. And usually we have like a freeze, and then it gets really nice again. So I might be able to enjoy them a whole month longer just by doing that one simple little thing. And not being attached to it if they go, because I do know they're coming back next spring.
Those poor little tomatoes.
Okay, I'm addicted to my tomatoes too. They've had a really hard year this year. It's been, I guess it just wasn't warm enough, and it's just been really strange. They're finally starting to grow a little bit big, and it's the end of the season, so who knows what's going to happen to those.
Which is another example.
And there'll be more next year.
No, I was going to say that they have a life of their own.
They do. They do.
Absolutely.
So, if everything is related and everything that we do has ripples that go out to everyone else. So Pema Chodron says, what you do for yourself, you do for others.
Mm-hmm.
What you do for others, you do for yourself. And that there are ripples and waves of things that create, well, when I do something nice for you, that usually makes me feel good. So that is how it was for me. Or when I do nice, sometimes we do nice things for people we don't even know, because we know that we should donate and do things, and we feel good about that. So she also talks about when we have rage, we're giving that to ourselves. And so she's saying it could be justified rage. And if you if you blame others, if you feel like you need to blame that person and spread it out, what's happening is those others may suffer. However, all of that's internalized, and really that's hurting each one of us. And so we suffer more when we have that rage. And so as we just begin to learn that things do come in seasons and things do come in cycles, and there's a lot of things going on right now that have been difficult, to say the least. You know, we were talking about possibly doing something for my birthday, and it's like, what? It's too cold to go out and sit outside somewhere. The thing I really like to do is in a store, and that is not a good idea right now, so I'm not doing that. So if I were attached to, this is what my birthday is supposed to look like, and these are the things that happened on my birthday, and this is how it is, then I could make myself miserable today, instead of just really being grateful that I made it another year, and I'm still here, and we're still here, and we have families that love us, even though we're not seeing them as often as we'd like to. We have the option of phone calls and texts and Zoom calls and staying in touch. And so, yes, we're not able to get together as much as we like, and because of technology and because of the way things are gaining, we still have that opportunity to stay connected and feel that love and be safe. And so we have choices over how we deal with that. And I know it's hard. We went for a walk on Saturday because we look at my phone every day and had a little smiley face where the air quality is, so we could go out. So we're out there walking, having a good old time, and we look up at the sky, and there's the smoke just billowing in, and it's covering the sun, and the sun's all orange, and we're thinking, not only should we hurry up and get home, but that fire in Fort Collins is getting worse and worse and worse, and there are people up there who are being evacuated, and there are homes that people have had to leave, and they don't know whether their homes are there or not. And there's all kinds of things going on around that. So it was a minor inconvenience for us, but that was a really big thing going on. And so we're really, really grateful for the rain today. And hopefully it's just really, really raining up in those places where the fires are, putting them out.
And even in the negative things that happen, it's their life. It's the life. It's that life expressing. And maybe we always get something out of negative things that happen. There's always a positive side. So maybe they'll learn that this our politicians will finally learn that we are in a global warming crisis,
Yeah.
and we need to take care of it. We have to discover a new way of treating our forest and taking care of that. Again, it gets back to us giving back and taking care of that which was given to us.
Well, and also those forest fires were a thing. I don't know as much as they are right now because there are 15 states burning right now. But forest fires are a natural thing. And that's how the forest renews itself. As people, we've just moved into the forest and we're in places where before there were so many of us, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal as it is now because of choices that we've made as people. And I'm not saying those choices are good or bad or anything. I'm just saying it is the cycle thing.
Mhm.
So if we begin to surrender, if we begin to understand, yes, there are things that happen that I call good, and yes, there are things that happen that I call bad, and yes, there are places where I feel like I need to control things like you talked about. And I can tell you from experience that when you think you have to, when I think I have to control everything that goes on around me, first of all, I can't. Second of all, it takes a really lot of energy. And third of all, it makes me not very happy when I'm busy trying to do that. And it makes the people that I'm bumping into while I'm controlling things not very happy too. So just beginning to realize that I can take every day as it comes. I can be grateful for the things that are given to me, whether I would have a tendency to call them good or whether I would have a tendency to label them bad. They're all things that are here for my learning, for my growth, for my progressing forward in my life, for the experience that I chose coming here, the things I chose to learn. And Pema talks about, birth is painful and delightful, death is painful and delightful, that everything comes and goes. And so we can learn to be kind to ourselves. We can learn that everything we do for ourselves helps others. Everything we do for others helps ourselves. We can understand that blame hurts us more than it hurts others. And we can begin to surrender into the now. And I know Tolle talks a lot about the power of now, how just instead of thinking back about what made us happy or thinking forward about what's going to make us happy, what's happening just right now? What's happening just right now that's good? What is it that I can do just right now for myself or someone else? Because that increases the love and the caring and the good, not only for me, but for those around me and for the planet. And so as we learn to let go of those attachments and accept what is happening as this is part of my growth, this is part of what I came here to be, this is part of my learning, this is part of my growing, and I don't have to be attached to it being what I would call good or being what I would call not good or lasting or going. So things can be temporary, they can last a long time, they can last a little time, and we can be in that surrender place. And it takes practice, and prayer and meditation help, and beginning to be conscious and aware of how we're feeling about things. Because I know when I've decided that I need to make somebody else wrong and I need to blame somebody else, I might feel good about it at the time when I'm chewing that person out or when I'm saying something negative, but I don't feel good about it after. I really don't feel good about it after. And so we can just begin to understand that as we surrender to this thing we call life, and we surrender to things being temporary and having their own seasons and coming and going, and that is how it is, and we can be joyful in that. So as we begin to be present in our heart and check things out with our heart, as we go through our business and our days, as we just check it out in our heart first. And if something's really upsetting us, we have the opportunity to just take a minute and breathe it in and breathe it out and relax and understand what that negative energy might be doing to my body. What it might be doing to my energy? What it might be doing as it's going out? And is it really that important? Or can I just accept what is and be in a place of peace? Then I'm not only making myself more peaceful, I'm making those people around me more peaceful, and I'm adding to the peace of the planet.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
You have more to say about that?
No, I think we should treat.
All right.
Why don't you kick it up?
So I just invite you to close your eyes, to breathe in a deep breath, to breathe out that deep breath. And as we breathe in, we're breathing in love. And as we breathe out, we're breathing out anything that might be troubling us, that might be concerning us, any temptation to blame or to make wrong, to understand that we're in that place where God is. Because God is everything and everywhere all of the time, always. There is no place where God is not. God is in every thought, in every deed, in every person, in every action, in every drop of rain, in the farthest star and everything in between. God is every emotion, every thought, every feeling, every person, everywhere, everything. And so right where each one of us is, God is in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
We are each one with that infinite intelligence, one with each other, and one with all that is. There is no place where we're separate.
Mm-hmm.
There is no place where God is not.
Mm-hmm.
It is all God. It is all good. It is all life. It is all absolute wonder.
Mm-hmm.
So I know for each one of us, joy and peace and harmony and abundance and joy and honesty and power. I know for us, acceptance of what is, acceptance of each other, acceptance of this life. And so I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be here, to give and to receive and to live and to share and to be in harmony with nature and with the people around me. And so in absolute gratitude, I pass this word to Reverend Michael.
And I ask you to just picture this. Picture yourself as this field of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And see that energy going out across the planet and connecting with all those that are praying for peace,
Yes.
praying for healings,
Yes.
praying for humanity to grow and evolve into their next greater yet to be. And just see that connection taking place right now. It makes no difference what religion, what their spiritual practice is. Even atheists, we connect with them. We connect and see this planet being loved, being nurtured. And as we see that taking place, we see it with all humanity doing it for each other. And know that in that connection, something magnificent has just taken place. And so, knowing that this planet has a life of its own, and every living thing on it has a life of its own, I give thanks for every life.
Yes.
For the tiny little bug,
Yes.
to the eagle, to the fish, to everything that's alive, the trees, the sand. Just so grateful for it, respecting it, sending out love, and knowing that all is well. And so I give thanks, eternally grateful for this day and for all those who've joined us, eternally grateful for this ministry that we serve, eternally grateful for our home, for our relationship, for this day that my wife is born and I get to experience her. Grateful for this and so much more. I give thanks. So thank you. And I simply let it be. And together we say, and so it is.
Ashe, amen, and woo-hoo.
All right. Oh, time for Susan again.
Yay.
Take it out, Susan.
Thank you so much for that beautiful message. And spontaneity. If we can't be spontaneous, what can we be? So
Right.
here is Turn, Turn, Turn by the Birds. I kind of changed my song selection to fit in with what you were saying.
Awesome.
Yay. I listened to that one yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace. A time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. A time for peace, I swear it's not too late.
That was so beautiful. Thank
Thank you.
you. That's such a joy to have you here. And I know Greg put your information up across the screen, but tell everybody a little bit about you and how to get a hold of you.
Well, just call me up. Heck, an old-fashioned phone call. No, I do have a Facebook music page. You can find me on Facebook, just Susan Clark Music. And I try to do posts to let everybody know what I'm up to from time to time. So that's a good way to get a hold of me. And actually, my phone number is on the Facebook music page. So I will accept phone calls too. But just thank you so much. What a joy to be with you today. And I always am inspired when I listen to the two of you talk. I love to have the two different opinions happening and from you both. So it's very unique what you bring to the CSL world. So thank you for that.
It's like yin yang.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and yeah. Go ahead.
What is that thing like? Is that a camel?
Oh, it's my granddaughter. I'm in my granddaughter's room. You know, I'm visiting up here in Westminster. I drove up from New Mexico about 10 days ago. And so I'm using my granddaughter's bedroom as my stage. And this is actually her llama. This
Lava. That's what
And
it
if
is.
she were here, I'm sure she could tell you what its name was. I don't know what its name is, but it just happened to be here today. It was so he or she it didn't want to leave, so I just kept it.
It added some really pleasant energy. I just noticed it.
Yeah, there's
Yes,
some
yes.
sweetness about your songs and your room you're in. It makes
Well,
sense.
thank you. I did have to ask permission. You know, she's 7 years old now. She's a big girl, and
Oh,
she
wow.
told me I could use her room as much as I needed to while I was
Oh,
here.
how sweet.
So there you go.
Well, we're glad you're up here.
Yeah.
What's that?
How long are you staying?
Oh, I'm actually staying till about November 10th.
Wow.
I decided I was going to make it a month-long visit. You know, I lived up here with this family, my daughter and granddaughter, for almost 4 years, and I miss them. So
Yeah.
I decided I'm not working much, and I have more free time. So I just drove up, and I'm going to make it a long visit. So
Oh, good.
Well,
Yeah.
we're open to, if you want to get together, have a coffee or something. We'd love to meet you personally.
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
Yeah.
we would love that.
all right. So, go ahead.
Oh, we got one more song from you, but we got to do this announcement. So we'll be right back to you.
So, this is our giving time.
This
And
represents our giving.
yeah. And, you know, people used to put stuff right in this basket when we were having like live, what did we have? Services. Those things where we talked and people were here instead of a camera.
Yeah, what a concept.
Yeah, it'll be nice when we get to do that again someday too. So if you're on Venmo, you can use that QR code right up in the corner of your screen and just donate right there. And we're at Venmo at CSL North Metro. If you're one who likes to text to give, you can text at YUGIVE to 888-364-GIVE. And the easiest way to give is just to go to our website, cslnorthmetro.org, and there are a couple of ways to give there.
Mhm.
So we absolutely appreciate everybody's donations. That's what it has been allowing us to continue doing what we're doing in this time when we're talking to a camera
And these wonderful musicians.
having these wonderful musicians. And so if this is feeding you and you feel called to do so, we'd love to have you help us do what we do.
Yes. So just take your energy and point it towards the computer and repeat after me. I give thanks for this opportunity to give.
I give thanks for this opportunity to give.
I'm blessed through my giving.
I'm blessed through my giving.
And all those that are out there receiving this gift
And all of those who are out there receiving this gift
are blessed.
are blessed.
And I see this gift as blessings to the planet.
I see this gift as blessings to the planet.
So for this and so much more,
For this and so much more,
I give thanks.
I give thanks.
Let it be.
Let it be.
And so it
And
is.
so it is. Yay. Okay, I think we could have
Zoom.
another song.
You talk about Zoom after. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Before you do the benediction, then I do that.
Okay. We got it.
But before we have my next song, just really quick, let's do a little happy birthday to Rev Valerie.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. To you, Rev Valerie, have a wonderful birthday.
Thank you.
And I'm going to do a song by Faith Rivera. She's one of my favorite new thought artists. And it's going to start out with some old-fashioned finger snapping. I'm going to go back to that a cappella presentation for you. Let me find my key. Today is the day I will change my luck. I will find 3 pennies and big heads up. I will walk like a queen in my tennies and jeans, 'cause I know where I come from. From the sun, from the stars, from that magical one, I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen to everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one from this thing called life. Today is the day I'll remember to see all is good, all is God happening to you and me. I will not forget all the treasures due me, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one, I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen to everything that's in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Today is the day I'll be more of myself, love my skin where I've been, and everyone else. No more push, no more pull, simply flow as I go, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen to everything that's in between, I am part of this thing called life. You are part of this thing called life. I am loved by this thing called life.
Great. Thank you.
You're so awesome.
You are. So a couple things. Join us on Zoom right after this service to share your aha moments. In the comments on the Facebook service, on the Facebook, the link is right there. And also is the link coming up there or not? So sign up on our email list to get the link. Email. Also, if you're on YouTube and you haven't seen it, the Zoom link is on the calendar page of our website, cslnorthmetro.org. So there it is.
There it is.
Hope we see you soon. But if you missed that, you can just click the link on the calendar.
Thanks
That
to Greg
works
and
too.
Sheila.
Yeah,
Thanks for
yeah,
Stephan, who had to leave to go to work. And thank you, Susan Clark, for being our special music, because you are very special.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Have a wonderful
And happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Blessings.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.